Welcome to All Souls, both those of us who are here, those of us who are online. It's great to be together on this holiday weekend to see some old faces who I haven't seen in a while, who are back in town for the holiday. Who's here for the holidays? Anybody just willing to? All right, great to have you with us. Welcome back, welcome here, and also any new. I see some new members. I met a couple. I mean, not new members, but visitors this morning. Any visitors this morning that are willing to raise their hand? We appreciate that. We actually have a little bag with some a thank you to visitors with some gifts for you, and you can pick it up in the hallway on your way out of the service with some information about All Souls. But it's great to be together. We have Bishop Carlton Pearson's here. He's going to deliver our message this morning. I'm so glad to be together with you this morning and to welcome everyone. If you're online and you could share the link on Facebook or online to let other people join us live for the service, that'd be great. And put in the chat any joys or concerns that you have online, and when we light candles, we'll light candles for those joys and concerns. Well, welcome everyone. I'd invite you to rise as you are able and greet each other and stay standing for our invocation. This is indeed a day which God has made. Let us rejoice in it and be glad, and let us count our many blessings. Let us be grateful for the capacity to see, feel, hear, and understand. Let us be grateful for the incredible gift of life, and let us be especially grateful for the ties of love which bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all of our days. Please join me in the words of the All Souls Covenant printed in your program. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to love one another. Welcome to All Souls, where we love beyond belief. To invite Rebecca Lawson to come forward to light our chalice this morning. Some of you know Rebecca from our online ministry. She lives in Chicago and is a member of All Souls Everywhere, part of our online community with a few hundred people from all over the country and all over the world. Rebecca, it's great to have you with us this morning and lighting our chalice live and in person. Welcome to you. Life is a gift. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift.
Good morning, church. We have been talking this month about our theme of covenant, which is the promise we make to each other and to ourselves so that we can be together in community. But I wanted to make sure you all knew what to do when we break our covenant, because we will break it. I've already broken it twice this morning, so I am an expert on today's subject of how to apologize. Today's book was written by David LaRoche and illustrated by Mike Wunautka. Everyone Everyone makes mistakes. And when you've made a mistake that has hurt someone or something, the right thing to do is apologize. Apologizing can be hard, especially if the other person is mad, but it's important to apologize anyway. Your apology can be simple. Just tell the person that you're sorry for what you did and be sincere. I'm sorry I borrowed your socks without permission. You can also apologize with a note. Dear Sloth, I'm sorry I stepped on your toes. I should not have been running so fast, Snail. If possible, try to fix the mistake. But sometimes you can't. In that case, you can still say you're sorry. Then take steps to avoid making the same mistake again. It might be difficult, but apologizing will make you feel better. And more importantly, it will make the other person feel better. And that's why we apologize. Children, will you come with me and let's go practice our sincerest apologies with one another and see if there is anyone we want to write a forgive me note to.
And see friends from far and wide over this holiday season, or we are thinking of friends far and wide, or those who have gone before us into that world of light, who are no longer with us in body, but are still very much with us in our hearts, especially around the holiday seasons. We want to light some candles for those we love and for those who we're thinking about. So in a moment, I'll invite those who are here to say the names of those you want us to light candles for. But first, I want to light a few candles for all the people who are lonely during this holiday season. Light a candle for all those who are struggling with the loss of gun violence, which seems to be something that's happening day in and day out, every day across this nation. So we're thinking of all the families who are dealing with that during this holiday season. Some of our online guests, Elizabeth Gutierrez asked us to light a candle for Dennis G. Also, Carol Lambert asked us to light a candle for Nancy L., who has cancer, and Larry Cochran asked us to light a candle for his wife, who's in the hospital. We also have Michelle has asked us to light a candle for her friend Linda. And I want to light a special candle for the Krantz family as they deal with the loss of their beloved. We're thinking of all of you and all of them at this time. And a candle for Claire Cross, one of our greeters and friends as Claire goes through some surgery. Please call out the names of those you'd like for us to light candles for this morning and bring them into this service. Jonathan. Mike Newman. Bruce Bailey, okay. All right, and I'll light a final candle for all those names that are unspoken but very much alive in our hearts this morning. Let us pray. We pray. I would invite you, if you have experienced the death of a loved one in the past year, or if this Sunday is the closest to the anniversary of the death of a loved one, if you would like to stand in memory and mourning, we'll have a short silence before we pray. So I invite you now to rise with me. You may be seated. You may be seated. Beloved, we gather together from all walks of life, taking many roads to be here in one space, virtually and physically, so that we can blend our lives together in hopes of something greater than ourselves, in hopes of being part of something that can make a difference in this world, in the time that we have breath. Help us to learn to love and to receive love in the days that we have. We ask for a blessing upon all those who are struggling with health concerns, the ailments of loved ones, the loss of loved ones. Life is precious. This moment where we have the very breath of life is precious. So in whatever number of days ahead are still ours to claim, may we do so with graciousness and courage and love. May we do so with hearts wide open to those who may be different from us, and those who may be angry with us, for those who may vote differently from us or believe differently from us. May we find in our hearts a holy place beyond all associations, all labels and titles, a place of pure love and goodness. And may we meet there in this hour and in every way and every day of our lives. Amen.
Holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Sing it with me now. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, when I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, when I breathe in, oh, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Would you just take a moment, someone near you, and share, if you don't mind, one or three things that you're thankful for. Would you do that? What are you thankful for? So much to be thankful for. With all the things going on in the world, it's just good to keep a heart of gratitude. Sometimes that's not always easy, but we are the ones who can be the change. Someone not mind calling up one thing you're thankful for? Somebody? What are you thankful for? I'm thankful for you, Rick. Church, this church. Good friends. Grandson. Family, yes. So much to be thankful for. I love this song that Rick is going to share with us.
Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for tonight we ask for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change. And even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves, there's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say, I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. It's so long overdue. So for tonight, we yearn for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there is a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's lights. So for tonight, we ask for what we know can be, and on this day, we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change. And even though we all need so much more, there's so much to be thankful for.
You're just such a talented guy. So
I'm in good
gifted.
company. I'm in good company too.
Well, we think you're
Well,
going to
thank you.
we think you're going to turn out to be something. We're so blessed to have an amazing musical staff here at All Souls. The variety is well, my thing came off in the back. Sorry. The theme for the month is covenant. But I'm titling my talk today, Agreeing to Disagree, because when you think of covenant, you think of a commitment, a contract, a compact that you make with yourself or with someone else. Presumably you agree to the contract or the covenant, or you agree to disagree about it. To agree basically means to have the same opinion about something or to concur with. We made an opinion. The word opinion comes from the word ophthalmos or ops, which is the Greek word for eye. Your opinion is the view that you have about life, about wife, about husband, about light, about yourself. And all of us have varying opinions, and never in our country's history, at least in recent history, have there been such lack of such strong opinion and disagreement at the same time. One thing about human beings that we have to accept, whether we verbalize it or not, is that we are perfectly imperfect, and we are imperfectly perfect. We want to be flawless. That doesn't exist, maybe except in consciousness. A flawless meal, a flawless look. How many of us, and I wish we had time like in a class setting, an informal setting, to say, how many of you actually agree with who you are? Or who you aren't? Or how you are? Or even if you are? In what ways do you agree with yourself? In what ways are you in covenant with yourself? To please or appease. We're always either pleasing, trying to, or appeasing the part of us that is in disagreement or might be angry. The word agreement is the Greek word symphoneo, where we get the English word symphony. I've said that many, many times. Symphony doesn't mean to sound the same. It doesn't even mean to sound alike. It just means to sound together. And the dissonance in togetherness is real. It's a law of physics. Anything in motion causes friction. If you can't take the heat, Truman says you got to get out the kitchen. Life has a lot of fracturous and frictionous experiences and expressions, and we're all involved in it. And I was just thinking last night while writing some of these words down to talk today, in what ways do I agree with or disagree with me? And how do I survive disagreement? I don't have a problem with agreement. It's disagreement. What part of me doesn't like me? And I like me a lot until you stop. When you stop liking me, then I get more defensive. You like you too. But if somebody likes you too much, then you can get critical of yourself. Why and how do our opinions clash? We don't even think about that a lot because we've become normal to it. Covenant is a solemn, sometimes sullen, engaging, and obligatory word. Most of us don't like it. It can feel awkward. Covenant feels sometimes clumsy, a little bit klutzy. Millions struggle to make and or keep a covenant, to commit to the covenant. It often feels like a nuisance. It can be annoying, even an anomaly. There's a lot about commitment and covenant, and to agree to disagree means that we're here today. We all have opinions about the turkey we ate or didn't eat. Those of you who are vegan or vegetarian, I'm a meat-eating vegetarian. I like meat with my vegetables. How many liked the pound cake or the chocolate cake or the peach cobbler or the sweet potato pie or the pecan or the pumpkin pie. I mean, you liked pretty much everything. You might have been somewhat judgmental. So those of you who don't cook at all never even think about it. You just eat. People who cook have opinions about how things should be cooked, and family recipes and heirlooms and things like that. There's a lot of disagreement. I often say with a couple, if the two of you, husband and wife or partner, agree about the same thing all the time, one of you is not necessary here, right? Agreement doesn't mean sameness. And so we have made a covenant to disagree with the part of ourselves or to have a different opinion about ourselves. And that's okay. It's healthy as long as you realize it, as long as you are aware of it and that you're not destructive and can be constructive in how you appraise or appeal to yourself. Covenant is basically an agreement. It's an arrangement. It's a contract or a compact or like a treaty. You made a deal with yourself, some kind of a settlement. And we do that every day. You're going to do it in a minute when we leave and decide where, or if you're going to eat. You're going to go home and eat leftovers, or you're going to stop by a restaurant or go by somebody's house. Will you go the long way home or the normal way home? Will you stop by the store or do? There's a bunch. In what you're wearing, I don't know how many of you laid it out last night and agreed that you should wear it today. Obviously, some of you did not agree and should not have. But that's just the way it is. You laid it out and you wore it. As others, you didn't even think about it. You just grabbed something out really quickly and came. And you're okay with it. If somebody compliments you on it, you might feel a little bit embarrassed, but also flattered. Or if they compliment the person next to you on their outfit and not you on yours, you say, well, I understand that because I didn't really go out of my way to look this old ugly dress, or this jacket. I wasn't even thinking about it. You don't have to make a compliment about my clothing. That's not really that important to me. You might be offended because somebody didn't compliment you or uncomfortable because they did. When do you agree? How do you agree? You make a covenant with yourself to be less comfortable or uncomfortable with not agreeing. The agreement part is not a challenge. It's the not agreeing part that is. When I have a different opinion of me even than you do, or my spouse, or my children, or my siblings, or my parents, a friend, or even an enemy. There's some things that a quote-unquote enemy opinion they have of you that you know is partially correct. That's the part that takes you off the most. That their opinion of you, and they're an enemy, you know what they don't like about you in many cases, and you don't like that about you either, but you wonder how they have the gall to point it out. Because you already know it's theirs. Like, I know me, I got this. I'm living with me, you better learn to. Or you don't have to like it, but you have to live it. And we're all wrestling with the constant feeling of what it means to be a body of believers or a spiritual community or a group. The word covenant comes from the word coven. You've heard of a witch's coven. It just means a gathering or to convene or to be conventional, to have conventional ideas about stuff, normal, customary things. We come together, we kind of hang out, we get along all right. That's pretty cool. Opposites usually attract, and then they attack. You are attracted to that in a person that you don't feel is in yourself. Like usually an extroverted person is often attracted to an introverted person. A more outgoing person is attracted to somebody that may be less outgoing because you miss that part, that calm resolve, that stable part that in your stratosphere, hopping around and jumping around. And so you like somebody that makes you feel more calm. Or if you're very calm to the point that you bore yourself, you're attracted to somebody that gives you a little bit of excitement about life or about you. And then in a time of disagreement, you literally despise the very thing that first attracted you to that person or in yourself. And yet, you're in covenant. You agree to disagree. That's how marriages last, if they last. When somebody tells me they've been married 50 years, I always want to give them a Nobel Peace Prize. These days, not 50 years, 15 years, or sometimes 15 minutes, because people are getting more independent, more individualistic. I do what I want to do. I do what makes me feel good. I do what I like. I don't do what I'm supposed to do, what you expect me to do. In fact, some people don't even like expectations. It's like, don't put any expectations on me. I don't know how I'm going to show up today. Some people are always the same. They always show up pretty much the same. But others of us have mood swings. Most of us have mood swings. And we actually play a role of being cool when we don't necessarily feel cool. Or we smile when we're thinking, oh, I can't wait to get the hell out. Get out of here. You have loved ones that come around, you hug and you grin and you smile, and you can't wait for them to leave. Or you have a wonderful family that you prefer, a family that's sweet and friendly and close and intimate that lives 3 states away. Why? Because friction of being together is a little bit discombobulating. And we don't like that. But if you're alive, you have made a covenant to that, whether you like it, realize it, or know it or not. You're really good at getting along. Because many people, perhaps even in here today, don't agree with anything you've heard so far today. Or the news, just watching the news. I get aggravated by the news every day, but I watch it religiously. It's like I'm stupid because I keep watching it and I get upset about stuff, but I keep watching. I'm a news fiend. My children say, Daddy, you always watch the news. And I'm always solving problems, seeing problems, solving problems that I don't solve. And then you feel, why is things so stupid? Why don't we get along better? Why are they doing that? What are they thinking? I should be the mayor or the president or the senator or the husband or the wife or the mother. Why don't they listen to me? Well, we always express our opinions like you think somebody cares. It's like, don't nobody care what you think. But yet you sometimes don't care what you think. Or you say, I don't care what you, usually the person who says, I don't care what you think, really does care what you think. And that's why they said they don't care what you think, because what you think just ticked them off. I don't care what you think. Usually the person who's saying that is aggravated about something that you said that makes sense. That may be true, but we don't want that truth to be brought out. Now, when you live in covenant with your soul or with yourself, or with your psyche, you are living a life of disagreement. And you're doing it pretty well. You're always arguing with yourself about something, and you've lasted this long. Most people don't like how they look. They nitpick. They don't like how tall or short, or how thick or thin, how light, the hair, the clothes that doesn't quite fit. There's this always nitpicking thing, and somehow you still sleep with yourself, and you eat with yourself, and you drive along in the car, and you talk to yourself. And sometimes you talk about yourself to you. Isn't that normal? And yet you're still together. Well, you're not really that together. Some of you are. One moment you feel really together, and you feel like, I am so disjointed, I'm so fractured. Last night I felt this way. Today I feel totally different. Or you might see something you want and your eyes say it's attractive and you want it. And when you get close to it, you don't want it anymore. Some people like that in marriage. You like them today and you like them a part of the day. Or you liked them yesterday and you might like them tomorrow, but you don't even like you right now. Why? And I often say, when you say you love somebody, you're saying you love the part of yourself that you experience when you're with that somebody. I love my mother, or I love my father, or I love my wife or husband or partner or friend, or I love my job. I love how I feel about me or how I experience me when I'm with that person. Same token, if you say, I can't stand so-and-so, you're saying you can't stand the part of you, the aspect of you that manifests when you're in that setting. So the only person you'll ever love, like, or not like is you. And how you doing with that? I have to ask myself a lot, do I like me? Not do I love me, because I don't know how not to do that. Love comes a lot more natural than like. Love is work, but love is natural. Love is normal. Love is nominal. Love can be great. Love can be abominable. Love can be pain. Nobody can hurt you or hate you like somebody you love or who you love or who loves you. Love can be very painful. Some people experienced it just this weekend. Families got together for Thanksgiving, got into a big argument about something. Or somebody didn't come because love is painful. They actually love you, but they don't love being with you. Or I love them, but I can't stand being around them. I love Uncle Joe. I love Aunt Sue. I love Mom or I love Dad, but I just don't like being around them that much. I agree to disagree with them, but if they need me, I'm there. If they're hurting, I'm there. If they need something, I'm there. But I don't want to live with them. I always say to young people, don't just marry somebody single people, don't just marry somebody you love, marry somebody you like. Because there's a lot of people you love that you don't want to live with. Starting with the one you love. Or starting with your parent that you love or a sibling that you love. Just because you don't want to be around somebody or with somebody, that doesn't mean you don't love them. You actually disagree with them, but yet you still agree that they exist. These are powerful dynamics that we have to daily walk through. Covenant sounds like a religious term, but there's a lot of secular covenants that we live up to every day. Our English word coven or convene both come from the idea or spirit of covenant. We're in a coven. Here also, we are a coven or a gathering of people who have agreed to disagree without being disagreeable. That's like any relationship. That's like marriage. How critical, are you as critical of you as somebody else? Most of us are more critical of ourselves than other people. And you project your self-criticism on somebody else, presuming that they have the same criticisms of you that you do, or the same likes. If I ask you to write down 5 things that you like most about yourself, how many could do that fairly easily? What do I like about me? What do you like about you? And what don't you like about you? And if you were to make a list of the 2, which would be the longest? I don't even know. I can't even answer that to you right now. If you press me, I could write down a whole bunch of things that I wish you liked about me and that I wish I liked about me that may not even be who I am at all. But it's an ideology. A lot of people are more in love with love, the fantasy of love, than they are with the person they say they love. We're in love with love. We're in love with peace, though we may not have it. We're in love or infatuated with joy that may be scarce. If you make a list of all the things that make you happy, how many of those things are actually present in your life? I've been married for, it would be 30 years. I made covenant with my wife. We're not together. She decided that she wanted to be comfortable doing something else, and I love her enough to allow her to be comfortable, but I still love her. She didn't have to agree with me, and obviously she doesn't, but I know she loves me, and I love her. When it comes to marriage, love isn't the whole issue. It's agreement. Can you live with somebody and love somebody with whom you disagree? That's where the art comes in. That's where the science comes in. That's where the work comes in. That's where the effort, that's where the solemn, obligatory aspect of covenant comes in. You make a commitment to the things you don't like about somebody without becoming what you don't like about somebody. Whenever you enter a relationship, even a job, there's some things about the job you're not going to like. And when you come home from work, you don't usually talk about the things you liked about being there that day. You only think about the things or talk about the things you don't like. If you ask somebody, how was Thanksgiving dinner? You say, oh, it was fantastic. The potato salad was weird. How was Thanksgiving? Oh, we had a great time. My cousin came. He's so stupid. We had a great gathering. The service was long, but the service was great, but the preacher was too long. You better not say that today. I loved the music, and that's all. I could have left after the music. You better not say that either. Or I just love the sermon. I wish they'd stop all that music. I would just come and just let the preacher preach, and we don't need all that music. You're in here today, too. That we all have these opinions, but you sit through the music or through the sermon or through, some of you don't like it if we say, turn to the person next to you and smile and say something. It's like, I hate that part. I don't want to say nothing to nobody. But you do it and you fake it for a few minutes. And then once you engage in a conversation, you forget that you don't like it and start liking the person. And here's a good way to get them to like you. Start complimenting them on how wonderful they are, and they'll listen very carefully. If you don't want any other opinion, just tell them something really. My dad used to say, if you're around a real vivacious person, you want to stop them from talking, start talking about them and in a good way, and they'll listen, because we want to hear good things about ourselves. You know why we like to hear good things about ourselves? Because generally, we don't feel that good about ourselves. Why? Where did all the guilt, the shame, where did all the self-hatred come from? Where did we learn to dislike ourselves or to compare or to compete with? We have churches all over the city, hundreds of them. Of course, Christianity tends to have more churches on a block than any other religion. You won't necessarily find several synagogues on the same street or several mosques on the same street. But you'll find a Methodist church, a Baptist church, Pentecostal church, Episcopalian, Presbyterian, all on the same 2 blocks. Most of the doctrine is the same. It's the styles are slightly different. We have so many denominations because we disagree. But we respect the other denominations because we agree to disagree, and we're in covenant with the faith community. We are convening or finding conventionalism in a smile, in an embrace. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm really happy you don't look like me. Just tell them.
Really happy you don't look like me.
And while you're on the subject, say, I'm sort of happy I don't look like you. Well, not would it be boring if we all looked diversity, or what is it? A variety is the spice, is the flavoring, is the herbal accoutrement of life. Diversity, that we all look differently, we have varying opinions, and that we get to sit. And most of us, I know it was for me for many years, and for most of you, you sit generally in the same area when you come to church most weeks. It's just common. It's not like you don't like other areas, but you're used to sitting here. Most of us do that at the dining room table. We do it in our homes. We are creatures of habit. If I sit at a different place at the table, it seems like the food tastes different. It doesn't, but psychologically you think you do. That's my seat. That's where I sit. Or if you come to church and you get here a little bit later and that area is full, you're okay someplace else, but you feel a little clumsy there. First of all, you got to say hi to people you don't normally say hi to. And you might need to say, well, what's your name? How long have you been here? I've never seen you before. You've been going to this church 20 years? I don't think I've ever noticed you before, which can be insulting and hurtful to the person. What do you mean? I see you every Sunday. Oh, you do? Oh, yeah, you're the one. That's who you are. Then you start lying or making up something because you don't want that person to dislike you. How many of you feel like your children like you? Or that your parents like you? Or that your cousins like you? And does their like of you change your opinion of you? Or do you change your opinion of you based on someone else's opinion of you? Every day, and when we're in the public view, we're always being scrutinized. Public speakers, singers, entertainers, we care what you think. Even if we say, I don't care what he thinks. We really care. We have to entertain you. The musicians have to be right. The atmosphere, the sound's got to be right. We're concerned about the bell ringing. There's a lot of work that goes into one service. We hope you like the service. We hope you come back again. Now, we know that you're not going to agree with everything that happens, but you're going to agree not to agree. We'll see you next week. Or the week after next. Or you'll call us when you need us. Or we'll call you when we miss you. Some of you don't talk to loved ones every week or every month, and you're okay. They're blood and blood and bone and bone. You don't mind. You're not offended that they don't call every week. You wish they did. Some of you said, I couldn't stand it if you called every week. I used to have a habit. As soon as I get in my car, the first thing I do is call my mom. Now she lives with me. She's 93 years old and she lives in the house. I don't call her. But I go in there and see her. And she repeats. I have to tell her the same thing over and over and over again because she has a little bit of dementia. But she's my mom. And when she says, where are you going? I'm going to church. When you going? I'm going just in a few minutes. Where are you going? To church. When you going? What time is it? What day is it? So where'd you say you're going? I'm fixing to go crazy, Mom, because you asked me that too many times. And then she starts laughing. We can make a joke of it. I can make a joke of what my mom's mumbling about if it doesn't make any sense. So, Mom, neither one of us know what you're talking about today. She used to say to my dad all the time, you can't remember anything I forget. My dad said, I can't remember half the stuff I remember. Because we're working through getting along with each other. Wrap your arms around yourself like this one more time. And recommit yourself to the covenant of accepting all aspects of who you are or who you're not. And I'm not trying to encourage you to love yourself. I am encouraging you to consider liking yourself differently. You really are a pretty amazing human being. There's something about you that's very attractive, very soothing, especially your smile. You're just unique. You're sweet, you're witty, you're smart, you're funny. You have sort of a dry sense of humor, or you're really loud and boisterous, and we like it when you come and like it when you go. So we like you twice. We like who you are, we like who you're not. And we embrace you, we affirm you, we celebrate you more than tolerate you. We care. And we have love that goes beyond beliefs. That we're all souls, not all saints here. Many thoughts. The commitment is gorgeous. The commitment is beautiful. And we thank you for being you and for daring to allow us to be who we are. You're blessed and your best days are ahead. I salute, I celebrate, I love you. We believe that our best days are still to come, including yours. Peace and blessing to all of you.
You've got to do when the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do, oh Lord. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. Let's sing that with me again. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. You've got to do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do, oh Lord. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. In a minute, I want to ask you to join me in standing up. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do, oh Lord. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. Gonna need your help now. You've got to clap. Let's clap together. You've got to clap when the Spirit says do. says love. You've got to love, oh Lord. You've got to love when the Spirit says love. One more time now. You've got to do what the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. I want to hear you. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do, oh Lord. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, please. Yes, all right. Thank you for that, and thank you for that beautiful message. I gotta really think about whether I like myself, love myself, all of that. There's a lot to think about, a lot to really take in, and I appreciate that very much. We're gonna have a you can applaud for that message. Absolutely. Well, because we don't think about that a lot. We don't talk about that a lot. You know, that inner story, that conversation we're having in our heads, we don't talk about that a lot. Some of us don't even listen to it that much. We try to find ways to avoid listening to it. But sometimes when we pay attention, we realize, wow, that's not very nice. If you said that to me, what I just said to myself, I'd be really mad at you. So that's gives you a lot to think about. Thank you. I want to love myself and like myself too. And I hope you do as well. In just a moment, we're gonna receive an offering for the Lindsay House. Lindsay House here in Tulsa does something really important. It helps women with children who are situationally homeless. And it doesn't just give them a handout, but it gives them a hand up. It teaches them about finances. It helps them figure out where the resources are so that they and their children can get out of homelessness, this moment of homelessness, and back into a life that is life-giving for all of them. And so it's a great cause, and I hope that when the baskets come around in just a moment, that you'll be able to donate something to support those women and children in our community who could really use a little blessing right now. Especially as it gets colder and we get into the holidays. But as you're reaching down for all those bills or writing your check, I want to make a couple of announcements. A lot of great things are happening in the next couple of weeks. This Saturday, if you want to help us set up, because on Sunday we're going to have our tree trimming and hanging of the greens. It's a wonderful party. We'll have soup. We'll have caroling. It's 4 to 6 here next Sunday, and it's a lot of fun. It starts the holiday season. Our little kids sing. They get us singing, and we decorate the tree, and we decorate the church. We'd love to have you be here. And Saturday, there will be a preparation for that from 10 to noon, and we'd love to have parents and anyone who would like to come. That's going to be a fun, festive thing. We're going to have childcare, so a chance to kind of have a little time with some other adults if you'd like to on Saturday, then on Sunday. Also on Sunday at 1 o'clock next Sunday, I'm going to be leading a little program on the spirituality of grief. A lot of people are dealing with grief in their lives, lost loved ones, or especially even around the holidays. And there's some ways in which I've learned to think about grief and to bring it into our lives in ways that are healing. And I'd love sharing those with you. And I'll be doing that at 1 o'clock next Sunday as well. And then in 2 weeks, on December 11th, we have our congregational meeting when we'll vote on our budget for 2023. If you have not made your pledge commitment to All Souls for 2023, I hope you'll do so. There's some cards even in the pewbacks and online. There's a link. We'd love to have you do that because we like to set our budget based on how much money we know is going to come in. That's just we're not that faithful of people that we're just going to say we're going to set a budget and the money will come. We actually like to know if that money's going to come, so we appreciate all your help with that. And also on the 11th at 4 o'clock, we'll have our all-choir holiday concert, which is so much fun. Beautiful music for all ages. So we look forward to you being with us through the holidays, and especially over the next couple weeks. There's wonderful things happening. Let us now receive our offering for the Lindsay House. Well, in just a moment, Bishop Pearson's going to say a little blessing to send us off, and I hope that you take the gratitude of this past week and bring it into the rest of the year. It's a gratitude. They say being grateful, thinking about what we're grateful for, can change our lives and make us feel better and better, and it's just a great, simple, free way to enhance our lives. So I hope you bring gratitude with you throughout the year. For those who are visiting, hope you'll pick up one of those colorful bags with some gifts for you. We'd love to stay in touch with you and stay connected to you. Hope you'll come back and experience also some more. If you're online, we hope that you'll stay on Zoom and chat with our Randy Lewis, our minister online, and the others who are with you. Of course, Rebecca's not there because she's here with us today. So, if you're here, we have coffee and refreshments in the Alliance room out here, and we have a bookstore with wonderful books that you sometimes can't find in other places. So hope you'll stick around, enjoy some fellowship. We'll be at the door greeting you. And I'm going to extinguish the chalice while you say some words of blessing for us.
One, and as Unitarians, we believe that out of one, many.
That's right.
That we can be diverse, that we don't have to go along to get along. We can mind many of the same things without having the same mind about everything. We're not just a melting pot. We're a stew. And each person in the stew pot maintains its individuality. But when you start stewing together, you start tasting a little bit like each other. And stew is always better tomorrow than it is today. So we send you forth in diversity, in plurality, in your own uniqueness. Honor it, own it, and know that we celebrate and celebrate you. Peace and blessing to you all.
Christmas Eve.
That's nice.
Third
Very,
Sunday.
yes, that's nice.
We should do that.
Yes.